So the fact that she calls herself Lady Bird, that's actually very important. Now, at first you think it's just she wants to be pretentious and she thinks it's poetic and artistic, but actually it's representative of how she's rejecting any of the limitations put on her by her parents or where she came from. And one of the limitations that most of us have is we don't choose our name. It's given to us by other people. And Lady Bird, by taking that, she's trying to reclaim any hold that anybody else has on her, and just she's her own person, and she doesn't matter where she came from. She's going to go off and live this great life, and it doesn't matter that she came from Sacramento or came from these poor parents. And later on, as she grows and eventually she starts saying, my name is not Lady Bird, the name her parents gave her, and saying, I'm from Sacramento, she waffles on it a bit, and when he doesn't have a good reaction, she kind of goes back on it. But at the end, you see her trying to go and do new things and be your own person while also honoring and respecting where you came from and the people that made all your great achievements possible. And there's this great mother-daughter dynamic, but for me it was really more a parent-child dynamic where the child is more ambitious and intellectual and has all these dreams, and the mother's more conventional and practical. And you can look at the mother seeming to not always be supportive of Lady Bird's dreams in two ways. You can say, look, she's jealous because she never got to go to all these great colleges and she never got to have all these things, so she doesn't want her daughter to have them either. Or you can look at it as she's scared that if her daughter goes and isn't able to go to these great colleges because they can't afford it and they don't have the money, she's going to be devastated and she's going to be miserable and resentful all her life, and even blame her parents for not being even richer and being able to send her to even better schools. So you're going to have different interpretations. And the mother is such a complex character. When she criticizes the way Lady Bird walks across the stage at her graduation, you just hate her. It's so hypercritical and unnecessary. But then when you realize she's scared to even write her daughter a letter because she knows her daughter's smarter than her, and she's worried that her daughter's going to look down on her for not being able to write well. It's tragic and it's heartbreaking, so she's such a complex character. And I think what I loved most was how they ended it, where Lady Bird does find some, acceptance and understanding of her mother, but they don't have this great reconciliation, and they maybe never will. They may always have a strained relationship where the mother never really understands and never really fully approves. But that's it, and all you can do is kind of accept it, which it seems like Lady Bird has at the end. And I think to some extent this movie wasn't about any particular message. It was just an homage to this really important period in the director's life. It was very autobiographical, and I think it did a better job of paying homage to this particular last year of high school phase of teenage life than it did to Sacramento in particular. For me, it could have been any suburbia small town. It didn't do that great a job of being like, this is Sacramento, this is what makes it tick, but I think it really nailed the dynamics of families in this, almost going to college period. It nailed the friendships. Lady Bird's relationship with her best friend was really sweet and great. The dating, when they're talking about naming the star Claude because they're theater pretentious students, I thought that was great. And you can really tell how it was autobiographical because every dynamic, whether it was within the family or within the dating or within the friendships, everything felt so authentic and true. And I really love the portrayal of the Catholic high school because clearly the director is not a Catholic. She doesn't believe in a lot of the stuff that they taught and they were teaching her. But it was a really fair, even-handed portrayal. It didn't portray the Catholic school as this horrible monolith filled with a bunch of people that all thought the same way. No, it showed there were different kinds of people within that school like there are in any other school. And I think the fact that she actually did go to Catholic school allowed her to create a really, I won't say positive portrayal of it, but a fair portrayal. And you do get some great moments. The football coach taking over for the theater director, and he's writing the play, like these football plays, and the kids dutifully taking down these ridiculous notes. It's really sweet. And then at the end, when they do pull it off and the football coach is so pumped and he's pumping his fist, it is a really heartwarming moment. And another really nice touch was right at the start, she jumps out of the car, and it's this great moment of just teenage will and headstrongness that you're going to throw yourself out of a moving car on a whim. And then she's wearing the cast for a lot of the movie, and every time you see that cast and you're reminded of it, you're reminded back to that great moment. So it was a way to get more mileage out of this great moment that you had early on, and I really liked that. If you liked my review, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, you can click my face at the end of the video to subscribe. If you leave a comment, let me know how you like the movie, any other movies you'd like me to review, or any other thoughts on my reviews in general. Just leave a comment and I'll be sure to read it and reply.